What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It is Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new video episode, and I'm super excited to get into it with all of you guys and girls out there. So all of you who are joining me, thank you. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it, guys. It has been, well, it's been a while since I created some content here for all of you. And, you know, it's interesting because when I decided to, create some content or, take a little bit of a break from creating content, the whole time that's been happening, I've been thinking about it constantly. I've been thinking, I got to get back to creating content. I got to get, back to streaming. I've got to get back to creating content for all of you on YouTube. And yeah, wow, what a journey it's been. There's a lot happening right now. And so I want to talk about that a little bit with all of you. There's been a lot of moving parts, lots of movement, and I'm really excited to share here in this video what's going on, what you guys can expect into the future. Now, I'm not gonna go too in depth about what to expect because you'll see it as it comes. But I just want to give you some context as to what's been happening behind the scenes in terms of why I haven't been creating content for all of you. I've taken definitely a hiatus for sure, and it's totally on me. I got to be better. There's no doubt, and I will be better in the future for sure. So what's been happening? And before I even get to that, we're going to be talking about a few things here on the show. But I definitely wanted to get out of the way the update or what exactly is happening here in terms of why I haven't been creating content. Whether it's here on Twitch, whether it's on YouTube, like where have I been? And the reality is we are moving. So my family and I, we are moving from this home. We've been here a little bit over 2 years, and we are moving to a new location, new house. It's exciting. There's a lot of excitement around it. It's actually going to give us a lot more space in terms of just, the end of the day, guys, we're outgrowing this home. And to kind of give you an idea, so it's myself, it's my wife, and my 3 kids. And two of my sons are both sharing a room right now. And my daughter has her own room, but it's a pretty small room. And then, of course, my wife and I. And so I say that to say that slowly but surely over the course of the last couple of years, we've been slowly growing out of this home. And to kind of go back in time, if for those of you who have been watching the shows, been watching the content over the years since I started the YouTube channel in 2018, you'll know that we lived up in Ohio for, pretty much most of my young life to even into my, adult life was living up in Ohio. A couple years ago, made the decision as a family to move down to South Carolina. And so that's where we reside now. And when we were in the process of moving, we decided, well, what we're going to do is we're going to buy a home, find something. And at this current point in time, a couple of years ago, it was crazy in terms of the real estate market down here in South Carolina. Tons of people were moving down here. There wasn't a lot on the market. When things were on the market, they would go very, very quickly. And so it created some urgency when we decided to move down because, well, we needed to make some moves and make them very quickly. And so this home that we bought, is definitely, it was a good starter home. It was a great starter home. This was the house that got us down here to South Carolina, and we've loved it, but it was never the forever home. It was never the permanent home. It was never our last stop, I guess you could say, in terms of our journey here in South Carolina. I've always had, we always have had, big plans, big ambitions in terms of what we want to do in life and all of that. And this home got us here, stayed here a couple of years, and we made the decision now that it is time to move to the next level, to move to the next thing. And what that's going to look like is a bigger home. Now, in terms of what you guys are going to be seeing, in terms of like the background and all of that, I mean, it's going to be very similar, right? What you guys have become accustomed to here on the channels is, gaming related content, movie related content, sports related content, basically anything that I find interesting in those universes. And that's not going to change. In fact, it's going to get elevated as we take this next step to the next level. The same thing's going to be said for the YouTube channel, the Twitch channel. It's going to go to that next level, to that, what I've wanted to do is to create tons and tons of content for you guys to take in, whether it's based in the gaming world, the entertainment world, movie world, or the like sports world. So that's what you're going to be able to still see, on my channels for sure. But it'll be a different background, and some of the things that I've wanted to do is maybe give you more glimpses into what's happening behind the scenes, and so I'll have some announcements on that in the foreseeable future. But yes, that is the big update, guys, in terms of why I haven't been creating as much content. And I know it's not. There's no excuses. I've got to find more time. I've got to get better at leveraging time so I can, spend time with all of you out there that are very interested in the gaming universe, the movie universe, all of those things. There's a number of you that have become accustomed to watching this content, and I appreciate all of you for being on this journey with me. Definitely with this, the moving portion of things, it has definitely created some challenges in terms of logistics and finding the time to create content. Like I said, there's no excuses. I have to be better. And like I said, I will be better in the future. Let's get into our first topic of the night, shall we? I want to talk about COD Champs. Obviously, guys, for those of you who've watched the videos, who have watched the content over the course of time here, you know that I am a massive Call of Duty fan. I mean, it goes without question, whether you see the posters or like the gear I wear a lot of times, I'm a big Call of Duty fan. And yes, there has been some turbulence in Call of Duty over the last number of years. I'm definitely going to acknowledge that. I would not deny it for a moment that there hasn't been some ups and downs in the franchise. I say that, though, to also say that although there's a lot of, turbulence at times, at the same time, any franchise out there has its ups and downs. So whether we're talking, Call of Duty or League of Legends, CSGO, Valorant, StarCraft, Gears of War, I mean, any game, any franchise, I don't care which one it is, there is always going to be, at some point in time, there will come turbulence and adversity. And it's how that development team, the publishing team, addresses that adversity is really what tells the story. And so even though there's been some turbulence with with Call of Duty, with the Call of Duty League, I definitely wanted to talk about this because, COD Champs this year it's a really interesting and very, it was a really wacky COD Champs. In my personal opinion, it was one of the more, I would say, there was a lot of uncertainty going into COD Champs as to, who was really going to, make the big runs and which team was ultimately going to win it all. And as we all know, the New York Subliners won it, and they won in dominating fashion for sure. When we look at the bracket for COD Champs, my mindset was, wow, it really could be Ultra or Subliners that wins it all, because Ultra took out FaZe and then Subliners took out Optic. And in my mind, I thought that Optic and FaZe were on a collision course. And I think that's what a lot of people wanted to see, was a collision course with those two teams in the winners finals. And we didn't get that, right? What we got was Ultra and Subliners, and Ultra dominated Subliners, 3-0'd them, did a really awesome job. And when I saw that, I thought that it was going to be a tall and tough task for any team to beat Ultra. They had a lot of momentum going, and, Optic getting beat, number one, by Subliners, but then them losing to Surge was very surprising. And, the thing with COD Champs, a lot of the times it comes down to very small details that you either miss or you make, and that can really make or break your entire year. Because this is the biggest event of the year. This is the championship. It is, it's like the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals of Call of Duty. And so every little tiny mistake that you make can really add up and create a, massive negativity for your team. And so with Optic, I felt like, it could have gone either way with them and Surge, but there were just minor details, minor mistakes that they were really making that I felt ultimately led them to their demise. And, with FaZe, FaZe, obviously these are, still, I would say if you think of like the best well-rounded team since the Call of Duty League has started, it's been FaZe for sure. And I still feel this way, but the Subliners, they were on a mission when they beat FaZe. And I think that, Subliners, it's interesting because, when Scrap, when he went ahead and, he was talking some big talk, talking some trash to the Subliners. There are certain players that, take it and they ignore it. They don't let it get to them. But then there's others that are out there that take that talk, that trash talk, and they use it as fuel. And Kismet, the Bulldog, took it as fuel. He definitely listened to what he was saying in that interview for the whole world to hear, and they definitely poked the Bulldog, and you definitely don't want to do that, because what ultimately happened was the Subliners 5-0ing the Toronto Ultra, which I thought was not expected, was not thinking that was something that was going to happen, but it did. And I gotta tell you, I love seeing that narrative happen, just because, I think that it's not just in basketball where trash talk can really hurt you. As an example, Dylan Brooks, talking a lot of trash about LeBron, and then the Lakers mollywopped the Memphis Grizzlies. It's never a good idea to trash talk unless you can really truly back it up. And I get it. Ultra was on a real high after beating the Subliners 3-0. But talk trash after you win it all. Don't talk trash before then. You can talk some trash as much as you want. And like, for example, the Nuggets, when they beat the Lakers, they were talking a little bit of some trash, but when they won it all, they won the NBA Finals. and beat the Miami Heat, their coach to the rest of the team, that's when they could talk their talk. They could talk some mad trash because they had just won a ring. And so what I'm getting at is I think there's a lot of people, individuals, teams that talk trash before the magic happens, before they win it all. So I guess the moral of it is don't poke the bulldog, but also, keep it to yourself until the job's done. And so that being said, the Subliners are the world champions, best players in the world at this point in time. There's no debate about it. And I think, there's a lot of excitement there for the Call of Duty League moving into next season, especially with roster mania and everything else happening. It's going to be very chaotic and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to cover as much of it for you guys as possible. What did you guys think about COD Champs this year? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Call of Duty League content and videos, stay here with ZroTV. A game that got announced that I've been waiting to get announced for a while. It went through, I wouldn't even say it went through a development hell. I would say that it was going through a, initial stage hell. It was going from an inception hell. And that is a game that is Payday 3. Payday has been a very intriguing and very fun game for me. I love the marketing behind it. I love, a lot of the concepts that they go with. Starbreeze, the studio that have brought us the first two Payday games, I really, they've got some, like I said, awesome marketing, great characters, I think they create great experiences overall for the Payday franchise. And we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I created a number of videos on Payday 3 or, like when this game was going to be coming out and things of that nature. You guys can check out all of my Payday 3 content on the YouTube channel. But we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and we just never got anything, never really got anywhere there. But the big thing was that there was a lot of talk about the publishers and the developers and all these different things going bankrupt. There was bankruptcy problems. There were development issues. They were trying to find the funding in order to get Payday 3 made. There was a lot of, some drama going on behind the scenes. There was a lot of issues. But I think at the end of the day, the community had spoken that we wanted a Payday 3. Number two, the numbers show us that this is a popular franchise. This isn't just like, some, small franchise. This is a franchise that should be a long withstanding franchise. Not even, maybe, I don't believe it should even just be a trilogy. Maybe the idea behind Starbreeze is, hey, we're going to make one more Payday, round out a trilogy, and then we're going to move on to other projects. But I really believe that Payday is a franchise that could go on for, the long withstanding future. And I would love to see that because I think this is a really, really cool take on heists and things of that nature. So when they showed us the reveal of Payday 3, I got really, really excited. At the Xbox Games Showcase, there were, I got very excited. Once you saw the mask, that was the telling moment for me. And it won't be long until we get our hands on the game, which is very exciting because Payday 3 is going to be coming to PC, VR, PlayStation, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch. And it's going to be coming September 21st. So you can obviously already, guys, you can pre-order the game on Steam. You can pre-order on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X. So overall, This is a game that I wanted to exist. This is a game that I am incredibly excited to play. I'm really excited to get my, get hands on with it, to really see what all it's going to represent. Obviously, we saw they have, a gameplay trailer that came out, and from a gameplay perspective, it looks like they've made a number of improvements. I think overall, people are excited about this game. Especially people within that Payday community have been waiting and waiting, yearning for another entry. And I'm one of those people. Very exciting stuff. Time will tell, guys, but I got to tell you, I'm very excited about it. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about it, of course, in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about Payday 3? What do you guys think about it? Where do you think this is going in terms of, just the future? Like, do you think that Payday 3 is going to live up to that hype and then even exceed it so that we could potentially get even more Payday games in the future? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Payday 3 content and videos, stay here with ZroTV. I would say besides Payday 3, at the Xbox Game Showcase that they had, the other game that really grabbed me and got me very excited, and for those of you who don't know, obviously I'm a massive horror fan, and I have been for, since I was a kid, whether it's movies, games. And so there was a game that was shown, and part of me feels like it went a little bit under the radar. It didn't, it wasn't something that everybody was talking about. It was kind of a game that, I think people in the horror community were excited about, but it wasn't necessarily something that everybody was talking about. And that game was Still Wakes the Deep. This is Chinese Room's next narrative horror title. And when I saw this trailer, it gave me a lot of different types of vibes, right? It was very interesting. Obviously a disaster that strikes on an oil rig off of the Scottish coast, and something happens. And in the trailer, you got some really some very creepy vibes for sure. It didn't show us a lot. In my mind, it was actually I think it was like a perfect trailer, especially for an upcoming new horror title. Because it didn't give us everything, but it gave us enough to be really interested, or really intrigued. And I also thought that it was interesting that this title is set in December of 1975. I thought that was really interesting. So you got like a period piece horror game based on an oil rig disaster off of the Scottish coast. I thought that just that concept alone has got me really interested about going into this period of time. 1975. Obviously, I wasn't alive then. Wasn't even a thought at that point in time. And we get to play in that time period, but in a disaster type of sense, right? It is like a disaster game. And the, being on an oil rig is going to be very interesting as well, because it's not something that you see much, right? Most of these a lot of the horror games that come out, they're set in like some kind of a lot of times they're set in like a house, right? That house is haunted, or it's got something going on, where the house comes to life and there's creatures and things of that nature. This gives you kind of those vibes of like a Dead Space, of a negative atmosphere. There's a lot of games that are coming out that are horror titles that this is kind of reminding me of. And that's why I think that the future of the horror genre in gaming is incredibly bright, because we you can just tell that they're putting a lot more resource and development, that being these publishers as well as the developers, into horror games because there's an audience for it. The horror audience has actually grown substantially over time, whether you're talking from a movie perspective or a game perspective. Even over the last, I would say 5 years. I mean, you could say the last 10 years, as far as I can remember, the horror genre, yeah, there was definitely a fan base around horror, but over the years, it has grown drastically in popularity. And so this is just another title that's coming out that has some excitement, some buzz around it. I don't think that it has enough buzz, in my personal opinion. I think that we need a lot more, for sure. There definitely needs to be more of a electricity or more of a excitement around this game. And I think that there definitely is, but I think that this got overshadowed by other games that came out at the Xbox Game Showcase, like maybe Starfield and maybe some others. But I gotta tell you, it's one of my most anticipated games now. It's going to be coming right now. It's coming early 2024. So hopefully we get our hands on it, sooner rather than later. Obviously I want it to be fully, polished and finished. Don't want them to release the game and then it ends up being somewhat like the Callisto Protocol, where there's a bunch of bugs, glitches, things of that nature. I will be giving you guys more content around Still Wakes the Deep. Let me know, though, what do you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Let me know, guys. Are you guys excited about this game? Let me know. And for more Still Wakes the Deep content and videos, stay here with ZroTV. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for joining me for this. I know it's a short stream. This update, about what's happening and all of that. For joining me, talk about a couple of games and, obviously with COD Champs and everything. I really appreciate you guys. Let's stay in touch. Lots of things that are going to be happening. But this will be my last stream, my last, videos in my house currently. And the next time that you guys see me, the background will be different. We'll have it'll be a new setup in terms of the room and everything else. But the content is coming, and I can't wait to share it with all of you guys. With that being said, how can you guys reach me? Guys, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at @0_TV. Subscribe for more content here on Twitch. You guys can subscribe if you guys are new. Stay positive. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.